Hi, and welcome to SimpleSpiritualityPH. Now, for those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Regine. I am an intuitive, manifesting-based tarot reader. I'm a certified Reiki healer and an overall light worker. And before we dive into today's video, I would like to invite everyone who would like to receive notifications of my new videos to please hit the subscribe button over there or over there. If you like this video later on, please give it your thumbs up. If you have any comments, suggestions, you want to say hey, please do comment them down below. And if you would like your very own tarot reading or Reiki healing session with me, online for now, of course, here are the details. Now, every Tuesday on my Instagram at SimpleSpiritualityPH is free Health Reiki Tuesdays, all right? So if you or anyone you know would like to have Reiki done, just head over to at SimpleSpiritualityPH. Every Wednesday, my one question, one card reading is 50% off. Now, also, if you would like to donate, you're not required to do so, but thank you so much if you do. And to all of those who have donated thus far, my only link to do that is down below. That is the only way by which you can donate, all right? You're keeping me afloat. Thank you so much. So much, all right? Now, let's get to the video. Okay, so this video is dedicated to the friendship of Jin and V. This is a requested video, and we're going to be using the Tarot of the Divine by Yoshi Yoshitani. We don't see a lot of this deck, even on my Instagram, so I decided to use it today. And for the rest of the videos that I will be taping today, the day before my birthday. Anyway, so the friendship of Jin and V. Now, we do know in the past that they have gotten into some arguments. I'm sure all of them have gotten into arguments with each other. I mean, it's impossible. They've lived with each other for so long. I mean, they have lived with each other and for very long periods of time, right? It's impossible that they'd never get into arguments, right? But this is the card that came out for them. It is the Page of Swords, upright. So let's dive into their current dynamic. All right, so based on the card, I'm reading that the both of them often think that they're right. That each of them, that Jin thinks he's always right, that V also thinks that he's also right. But, and that's a big but, they have also learned a lot from each other. Definitely their relationship has gotten smoother from what I see. It's gotten a lot smoother, but it got there by trial and error. There were a lot of things, a lot of struggles that they had to go through with each other in order to reach a point where they can actually see eye to eye. Right now, I feel like reading from the card, right? I feel like it's at that point where they can actually respect each other enough to see what each other says, you know? Like if they argue, Jin will see V's point and V will see Jin's point. And in the past, I feel like there wasn't much of that, perhaps. Maybe they were more driven by their emotions, which happens a lot of times when we argue with people, right? When we're in a heated argument, especially, oftentimes we fail to see what the other person is trying to say, and we just want to get our message across, which is actually the wrong way to do it, right? The reason why arguments happen in the first place is because we're trying to push something which we think is right, but we forget that we're not the only people in the universe that could be right, right? So if that makes sense. So there's a lot of openness now, from what I see, and there's a lot of effort to understand where each person is coming from. If in the past they would try to just force each other and be correct, this time there's space to understand each other. They still think that each other is correct. Like Jin thinks he's correct, V thinks he's correct, and that's the whole point of arguing, you know, like that's why you get into arguments in the first place, right? But now they have the space to understand each other more. It's kind of like, I know I'm correct, but let me see what you're trying to say as well, because there might be a chance that I'm not, you know? There's more of a maturity definitely there. And again, a lot of space to understand each other. A lot of wisdom has caught up with them from the years of living together, the year of arguing with each other, and just understanding that all they really need to do is to try and listen to each other and understand where the other person is coming from in order for that argument to be to be resolved, basically. They do have a wealth of knowledge now about each other, and they will still try to make themselves right, if that makes sense. They will still try to force their own opinion about things, but again, there's room for listening now. There's a beautiful dynamic that they respect each other when it comes to arguments. Like, again, if in the past they didn't used to listen to each other, now they do. There's space and there's love and there's harmony and there's respect to actually make the effort of listening and understanding each other before coming to the conclusion that either one is right. But don't get me wrong, they're still as feisty as ever, you know? Like, if you see the card, there's still a sword there. And they're still in a fight stance. That's still a fight stance. They're still in a fight stance, right? In fact, that's very fencing like. I took fencing too. That reminds me of a fencing stance, actually. But yeah, so there's a lot more maturity now. It's a lot smoother now. They can actually use their words. That's also what I see. Another thing that I see, they now use their words to get through to each other. Before they use force, not physical force, but before they use energetic force, they now, both of them, Jin and V, now use their words before even treading to that place of using force. So much smoother communication, I would say. Much smoother relationship, I would say. A lot of learnings from each other, a lot of respect and understanding. And they still love to talk it out. I mean, we both know that, we all know that the both of them will make a stance. They're not afraid. They're two members. Both of them are not afraid to make a stance. They're not afraid to stand for what they believe in, you know? And so, yeah. I love the evolution of their relationship. It's very much like a brotherly relationship, hyung relationship, basically. So good for them. Good for that. Now, there's a little bit of, we have a little bit of time, so I'm going to do like a really quick analysis of RM's newest video. Well, I wouldn't say newest because Groin actually came out today as well. But Lost. I'm going to make a little analysis of Lost. Following Come Back to Me, right? We now have RM's video Lost. And I think that this is another video that's very straightforward when it comes to getting the message across. Now, we all know that the song is about being lost, basically. Maybe not physically being lost. Maybe some people will interpret that as being physically lost. But again, we have to look at the context of coming from the Come Back to Me video, right? We see RM, who is kind of at the fence with who he really is. He doesn't really know whether he is brave enough to tread down that path of discovering who RM is. And we see that bleed over into the second video of Lost, right? So we see RM in the context of an office job, right? And for those of you who have never done an office job, I used to be in the corporate field, right? I used to be a there was a time first that I was a teacher. And then after that, I was an intern for HR. And then after that, that's when I entered full on the corporate world, where I became a content writer for a couple of years. I became a content writer in the customer care field. They absorbed me. The department absorbed me. And then after that, I was pirated again by another department in the same company in cybersecurity. So there's a lot of corporate ins and outs there for a total of 7 years. I was in corporate for a total of 7 years. And I can tell you that a lot of things do become mundane. A lot of things do become questionable in the corporate field, in a sense of, am I still doing the right thing? You know? So in a nutshell, what I interpret from RM's video Lost is that there are two things actually that I do see. Very clear things that I see in that video. One thing, RM is kind of asking himself, am I still doing the right thing, or am I doing the right thing? Because it seems like I've been doing this, like I've been an idol for so long, and I don't know if I'm still doing the right thing. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, right? Am I like making enough money? Am I inspiring a lot of people? Am I presenting myself as the best idol as I can? Like, am I presenting RM as the best that I can, you know? Am I making a lot of really good music, you know? Basically, am I still doing the right thing? And at the same time, the second message is basically, if I get out of this context, well, who am I? You know, that's why we see him at the end kind of like going up, right? He's going up to a talk show and he seems lost, literally. He doesn't know what to do. He's in the public eye, very bare who he is, right? And he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know how to react. He doesn't move. Basically, he just looks at people and people expect him, like people are watching him, like almost saying, okay, who is RM? What are you going to do next? You know, and he's just like, well, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. I don't know if I'm being the right idol, basically. But at the same time, outside of the idol context, I also don't know who I am. So who am I? And basically that's it. That is the whole interpretation. That is my take, rather, on the music video Lost, RM's music video Lost, and the song itself, basically. It's like within the context of being an idol, again, I don't know who I am, but if I take myself out of the context of being an idol, I also don't know who I am. So, what direction am I going? You know? And a lot of times people feel like that as well. Spirituality, well, tarot readings and Reiki can help you with that. A lot of people actually come to me for that. A lot of people come to me for readings for basic, a lot of career. That's the right word that I'm looking for. So a lot of people come to me to read on their career. A lot of people come to me to read on their love life because they're lost. A lot of people come have Reiki sessions with me because they feel lost, you know? It happens to a lot of people. It happens to everyday people. So including RM, who is an idol, right? There are times when we do feel lost. And one of the things that can really help, well, apart from tarot and Reiki, right? One of the pieces of advice that I can give from a spiritual standpoint is to actually ground yourself. See, when you ground yourself, grounding literally being close to the ground, and grounding literally taking your roots deep, your energy deep, 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 so secure, feeling like you're rooted like a tree that has very deep roots, you know. Grounding yourself will allow you to reprioritize and refocus and remember what your important things are, what the important things for you are. Because sometimes when we live busy lives, it all just goes like mishmash. We don't really remember anymore what our priorities are, what really matters. Sometimes we are so high up there, we're not so rooted in the ground that we just tend to go with other people's emotions, tend to go with other people's energy. You know, we get swayed like a balloon. And so, yeah, that can happen if you're not grounded. That can happen if you're not rooted. That can happen if you have so many things to do and you forget to be like a tree and put your energy at the center and deep down rooted into Mother Earth, right? So that's one thing that I can recommend. If by some magical, what do you call this? If by some magical force RM gets to see this, ground yourself. That will really help you, RM. If you can relate to RM and his music video, Lost, if you feel lost at in any way, shape, or form, I would advise you first thing to do, again, is to ground yourself. It will really help you a lot, all right? If you don't know where to start, drink coffee, drink tea, eat pasta, eat rice, grains, things that come from the earth. Start from there. And then maybe you can move on to, if you're not ready to meditate, you can move on to affirmations. I am grounded, I am rooted, I feel secure, I feel stable, I feel safe. And then if you can, move on to meditations, you know, like baby steps, baby steps. And then you'll realize that slowly you'll start to feel more stable. You'll start to feel more secure. You'll start to feel like the path will suddenly be revealed to you. All right. So I hope that was helpful. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments, suggestions, you want to say hey, please do comment them down below. If you would like to receive notifications of my new videos, please hit the subscribe button over there. And if you would like your very own tarot reading or Reiki healing session with me, online for now, of course, here are the details. Now, every Tuesday on @SimpleSpiritualityPH is free Health Reiki Tuesday. Every Wednesday is 50% off on my one question, one card readings. And if you would like to donate, you're not required to do so. You can do so in the link down below. And I will see you guys next time.